What's up, nerds? You play tabletop games? Do you like the steampunky, Victorian-era muskets and lamp oil aesthetic? What about The Witcher and monster hunting, mystery solving, and general spookiness? How about the cosmic horror of H.P. Lovecraft and the gods like Cthulhu? If you answered yes to one or more of those questions, then I'm working on a book that you'll probably love. It includes magic to steampunk tech conversions, recommendations on restrictions and immersion-based mechanics, tips for monster hunting similar to The Witcher, as well as gothic horror themes like werewolves and vampires. And for groups interested in pursuing it, there are Lovecraftian-themed ancient gods operating in the backgrounds beyond mortal comprehension. It's a full setting guide with NPCs, plot hooks, interfaction relationships, and everything that you'll need to create a story in this world and run a short or long-lasting game for your table in the Empire of Aarden. So first, I'd like to address what I consider to be a sort of elephant in the room. For this book, I'm using AI-generated art. I'm editing the hell out of it, but the fact remains that it is AI generated. I truly wish I could afford to pay an artist, and one of my goals with this channel and my Ko-fi account is to get to a point where I can do just that. Any revenue that I make from these two sources will be put directly back into the projects I'm working on, and paying an artist for my next project is first and foremost on that list. The idea of running a Kickstarter for things like this has been floated. However, I don't have the platform to adequately advertise something like that, and so without that base to build from, it's likely that a crowdfunded project would fall by the wayside along the many, many others that fail to meet their goals. What I'm saying is, I'm making baby steps, friends. Baby steps. You know, we'll get there. Alright. About 8 months ago, I made this video detailing the concept, and there's been enough interest in my Discord, which is linked below, and my playtest campaign has been getting better and better as we have gone deeper into this world. I'm going to give you the cliff notes about the world here. If you would like more context when this is done, I'm going to have the original Aarden history video linked in the description below. The Empire consists of 4 major city-states based on Slavic countries, the American West, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Western European Victorian era, commonly associated with the steampunk aesthetic. While I focused the game's playable region within this empire, there are NPCs and references to other nations based on Persia, Eastern Asia, and the Mediterranean. Whether I develop these nations further remains to be seen, but right now Aarden is the project. There are 2 dangerous areas where players will need protective equipment to venture, called the Fadelands and the Mournlands. Both of these are covered in a toxic fog called Fade, and they're full of extra-dimensional wild animals and dangerous monsters. Spooky stuff. There is a dominating central religion inspired by the Spanish Inquisition, as magic in Aarden has been illegal for centuries and is considered heresy by the church for most of that. As such, it's a low fantasy world, with the church executing magic users and performing dangerous rituals on children born with magical abilities. Suggested class and subclass restrictions are included in the book for this reason, to maintain immersion, as well as providing low-level stat blocks where I've substituted spells for setting appropriate tech. The Fadelands are home to extra-dimensional creatures known as Fade Beasts, who for the most part are simply wild animals from other worlds. They occasionally make dangerous incursions across the border into Aarden, and as a result, monster hunters are in near constant demand. I've included a number of tips for this, like things that could be found while investigating the scene of a Fade Beast attack, or what rumors circulating about various creatures might sound like, as well as a whole bunch of custom stat blocks for Aarden-specific creatures. 6 Aarden-specific backgrounds so that you can create your character and really feel immersed in the world when you do. Combined with information about the other city-states, I really feel like this is going to be a great way for players to feel like they're really involved in the world. In the center of the Fadelands is a location known as the Breach. A rift between realities that constantly spews out Fade. Beyond the Breach, 4 ancient entities inspired by Lovecraftian gods exist. Uncaring, neither good nor evil, these gods would regard a single mortal life as you'd regard a single skin cell on your body. They exist without malice or love, and some plot hooks are provided for potentially world-ending threats as a result. So if you're interested in a political campaign, a monster hunting campaign, a gothic horror one, a pirate adventure, or maybe something a little bigger involving those ancient ones, I think this book is going to be for you. Anyway, I've got links to my Ko-fi and my Discord community below, where I've got a growing group of ttrpg fans and fellow nerds. I discuss what videos I'm working on there, I take votes on ideas, and occasionally I host games for community members. If you want updates or info on Aarden, it's also going to be the place to find that. And if you want to know more about the history of the world, go check out that video. I've linked it in the description. That's it for today. All right, I love you. Bye.